think you would agree with me that artists have always had a desire to express themselves through their creations. Even during the World War I and the World War II, there were people who continued to explore and create art. One of these people was Barbara Hepworth. Born in Great Britain in 1903, she was fortunate to study abroad in Italy from the masters of sculpture. From the beginning of her career, she strived to feel the material. This approach will help her find her personal style and become one of the lead avant-garde abstractionists of her time. She was always very aware of her surroundings and people close to her, both of which greatly influenced her work. Here she shares some of her first memories and the way she experienced things while riding in the car with her dad. All my early memories are of forms and shapes and texture, moving through and over the vast riding landscape with my father in his car. The hills were sculptures, the roads defined the forms. There was this sensation of moving physically over the fullness of a moor and through the hollows and slopes of peaks and dales, feeling, seeing, touching through the mind, the eye, and the hand. The touch and texture of things, sculpture, rock, myself, and the landscape. This sensation has never left me. She held her first exhibitions in Italy together with her first husband and fellow artist, John Skipping, who she met there. Later, about the same time as they were going through a divorce process, she made her first pierced statue. It will become her signature style and be a huge influence on modern art of that time. Later, she continued to explore new forms together with an abstract painter, Ben Nicholson, who later became her second husband. Together, they were traveling and further developing the new avant-garde movement. But perhaps becoming a mother and going through hardships of caring for her children is what influenced and formed her work the most. When she had her firstborn son in 1929, she created some of her first well-known works, like the sculpture of an infant she made out of wood. It's a relatively small piece, stands 17 inches tall, and even though it's placed vertically, it is obvious that it's depicting an infant asleep on his back with his arms raised to the sides. And even though it's stylized, it still has a detailed face with lifelike chubby cheeks. Mother and child became a recurring theme in her art. Personally, I really like her earlier pieces. They were larger sculptures out of solid rock, where mother and child were unified as one. We can see that as Barbara was moving through life and her career, the dynamic of her sculptures gradually becoming more abstract. I feel as though we can peer into her exploring her own relationship with her children as they were growing up and recognizing their individualism. Because at some point, she detached the child figure from the mother figure. They were still made of the same material and set in intimate proximity with one another, but now there was a physical separation of the forms. It was an innovative approach, another trait that would make her work stand out. The place she moved to in 1939, out of safety concerns, continued to propel her artistic creativity. She drew her inspiration from exploring the countryside of St. Ives, the hills, rock formations, ancient ruins in the area, and the seashells on the shore. She continued to hollow out her sculptures, experimenting with new materials, and working even on a larger scale. Thank you.